So it's been quite a few months since I've bought the new Ranger, and as you can see, I took it in for its 15,000 kilometer service, which was all covered by the service plan. I'll go into the costs a little bit later, and I just thought I'd give all of you prospective Ranger owners out there and buyers just a short update of my ownership experience so far, and what I have liked about the new Ranger compared to the old ones, and a few things I haven't. We'll also just shortly discuss the sort of service you get from Ford and the dealership network, and I'm sure there'll be a few interesting things that come out of that conversation. So yeah, let's go. The new Ranger features remote start via the connected Ford Pass app. This is a handy feature that helps cool or heat your vehicle before you get into it. Just remember to keep the climate control to auto. It also frightens the car guards, who have no idea why the bakkie just started. The 360 camera is a big upgrade over the previous model with better clarity and more features, making reversing in and out of tight spots that little more comfortable. Long distance comfort has also been slightly improved. I say slightly, as this should not be misunderstood that the previous models were uncomfortable in this regard. Ford has always had a reputation of one of the best driving bakkies on our South African roads. The pairing of the bi-turbo and 10-speed automatic gearbox is a good combination with brisk acceleration and good gear selection from the box. This holds up on highway as well as congested city traffic use. A vast improvement over the previous model in my opinion. The screen can be unresponsive with a slight delay that happens from time to time. Hopefully Ford can address this with future updates. And Ford, just a tip, try and incorporate haptic feedback into the touchscreen. This would make a world of difference in the user experience when using the touchscreen. The front sensors can also be overly sensitive sometimes. When you apply the brake, the front sensors would activate and the front camera would pop up on the screen warning you of an imminent collision with a ghost or a spectre. This is a random issue and Ford can't figure out why. Alright, my Ford will be going in soon for its 15,000 kilometer service, and I just want to show you one of the niggles that it's developed. You guys hear that? It sounds like a blue whale in mating season. Let me play it again. And again. Freaking annoying. Blue whale, I'm telling you. Issues I've experienced so far are minor at least. The biggest one is not a Ford issue, but rather a third-party one. The first soft tonneau covers released for the new Gen Ranger are of terrible quality and fitment. I had to take my vehicle back 4 times, where I had issues with the tonneau cover not sitting properly on the frame. Also the stitching started coming loose on the seams, and I eventually decided to cut my losses and replaced it with a Securilit 218 hardcover. This is of far higher quality and so far no issues. So it was time for the Ranger to go in for its 15,000 kilometer service. I support Eagle Ford as their service is top-notch and the staff still understand the notion of quality service. This specific morning it was chilly, but luckily there was complimentary cappuccinos and pancakes available. There was 2 campaigns that had to be loaded in the bakkie. Campaigns is Ford's language for updates. Just be aware the campaigns or updates do take a long time to load. If you decided to not take the warranty from Ford, this is what you have to pay out of pocket for your first 15,000 km service. 2,467 Rand or 42,285 Zim dollars. A reasonable price in my opinion. At this point in the video, I would like to address an issue that's been plaguing the dealers. And that is the big difference in the quality of service you get from one dealer to the next. I myself have been on the receiving end of bad service Hence the reason I chose to go to a different dealer. Here is an example of a subscriber that had a horror first Ford ownership experience, completely ruining this subscriber's first Ford experience and ownership. This is a formal mail airing my absolute terrible Ford next generation ownership experience. This is the very first ever brand new vehicle I have bought. I have owned many Toyota products before, and I can hand on hard state that the Ford, and especially we can't name the franchise, cannot just take a leaf from their page but the whole book. This formal complaint will be broken into 4 segments, just showcasing how really disgusted I am with the dealer. My wife and I bought the next gen Ranger from dealer undisclosed. They assured us that this will convert us from Toyota to Ford. They were quick to pressure us in supplying our financial details and bank approvals. I repeatedly asked them that if something goes wrong, will they make sure it gets sorted? With the astounding yes. Well, on the day of collection there was nothing special. We weren't even asked if we wanted pictures. No ribbons, no nothing, just sign here and you go. Mister still has my wife's gift that comes with the bakkie. Now he has all our details. He could have made sure it gets to us if he was worth his salt as a salesman. But the only thing that was repeatedly asked was that we give them a 5 out of 5 star rating when Ford calls to hear about our experience. They just wanted the rating but didn't want to do any effort for it. I do think Mr. knows about my woes of owning a Ranger. And guess what? I gave the dealer a solid 1 out of 5 when Ford phoned. I originally wanted to work with a different person, but I was told I'm not allowed. Now I've referred several customers to, and he didn't disappoint. Your sales department knows nothing about service. After 200 kilometers, I returned the Ranger 2 and was just pawned off to the service department. I explained the problem and his advisors took over. The B-pillars and the driver's side mirror took them about 2 weeks. Then suddenly my vehicle was fixed according to somebody and the team. Well, it wasn't. I phoned a week later and complained again. I spoke to as well, who assured me that all will be fixed. Well, it wasn't for a second time at 2,000 kilometers, I think. I phoned again a week later to make arrangements to bring my bakkie in for a third time. Somebody said he will phone me when a relief vehicle was ready for me. He didn't phone me for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks I phoned and he suddenly said he was waiting for me. Bullshit. We booked the vehicle in for a Monday. I arrived at the dealership that Monday. The person was nowhere to be found and none of the advisors knew what was going on. I walked over to Mazda to speak to somebody or anyone with a spine at least. The receptionist and the PA of the owner blocked me of ever making contact and just referred me back to somebody else who wasn't there or didn't arrange anything for me. I was really upset. The people were more worried about me not speaking to any person with the owner's surname, which made me even more irate. I walked back in my moon boot to the service department and left that person a message with one of his advisors and my contact details. Till this day, I have not received a phone call from him or anyone. This is just piss poor service, finish and klar. I was at this point very frustrated with Ford and more specifically the dealer. No one wanted to address my problems, they just wanted the sale. You have completely ruined my ownership experience of my new Ford and no one cares. From people blocking me just to speaking to the senior management, ownership to the service department just believing they are ostriches and sticking their heads in the sand and hoping that the problem will go away. I did look into the specific dealer's reviews on Hello Peter and it does seem like they have a record of bad service and unsatisfied customers. The only reason I'm not naming them in this video is because the subscriber asked me not to, since they have since then resolved the issues. Just one last statement in this regard. It's always important to grow the relationship with the service advisor and also the sales team. Remember, respect goes a long way. Sometimes new things also do break, and taking your frustration out on them will only delay in them getting to the root of your issue. We should all just learn to be a little bit nicer to each other. In this specific case, where the client's whole ownership experience was completely ruined by the dealer, I wish we could actually name and shame them. People like this do not deserve our hard-earned money.